Well, hello, lovelies. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I tried it a little different this time. I haven't gone live in a while, and I figured maybe if I gave you some warning, it might help you a bit. So, hi. It's me, Fiery Grace the Gifted. I'm here with a Divine Masculine Insights reading. It's been a while since I was, here with you doing the reading live, and that is because the energies have been Um, a lot of mixed, if that makes sense. And so I've been trying to be as pure as possible when I'm offering guidance for the collective. And so I've been kind of staying away from tapping in. However, today I actually need your help. I need you to really focus in on this reading. And I need you particularly to use the leadership skills that you have been developing over the past, really your lifetime, but over the past few years, even into the past decade. There has been a lot in you that has shifted and changed. And so, my only request tonight is, and it's going to be a challenge for some, especially with the information that I believe may come out. But my only request and the challenge to you is to speak life into this atmosphere of this reading. So if you are participating in the chat, I need you to be speaking life at all times. It doesn't always necessarily have to say positive, but it definitely needs to be things that, if it were to manifest, you'd want it to happen to you. I'll put it like that. That being said, I am asking not only my moderators, thank you guys for being here, and my members who I know are very, very powerful in our tribe. Those of you who are present, and the rest of you who are viewers and subscribers and who are new, please gently remind anyone who needs the reminder that this is a very sensitive reading, okay? Divine Masculine has been trying to get my attention for a while, and I've been missing the message because I think I was looking for something else. I've been looking for, when are we going to see a collective shift in the status of unions? That's what I've been wanting to find out because I did feel like it was coming, but I got a message that I needed to do this live. So I'm going to shuffle and bless. We're going to check the energies. This is going to be one of those longer readings, so buckle in, settle in, whatever you need to do. If you don't have time, go ahead and watch this later. And if you are not in a good space and you don't think that you're ready to hear this message, please do come back later. It's all love that I send you away, not just to release your energy from this space, but also so that you don't receive this in ground that is not prepared for the seed, okay? All right. I don't know if this candle is going to stay lit. I accidentally tapped the wick. But you know what's funny is it lifted up just now. I don't know if any of you guys saw that on camera. It went here when I lit it. All right, let's see what happens. By the way, while I'm doing this, where is everybody at? I've been curious again to see where people have been coming from to get these messages. So let everybody know. You don't have to say like your address, but what state, country, where are you at? Oh, okay. We're going to start over here. As you see, I do have a Divine Feminine deck present. However, we're not going to be focusing too much on the Divine Feminine, okay? It is going to be mostly about the DM. Wow. So what I just saw was what I heard. It's divine multiplicity and duality. Divine duality, divine multiplicity. So I'm seeing expansion and I'm seeing balance, which, I mean, we saw balance in here, but it's about the next level, the next phase. All right. Look at that. Look at that. Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands. An exciting new opportunity, career advancement, Change your life now. Now, remember, divine feminines who are present, that these first two, look, my hands are like shaking right now. This is, oh my goodness. These two decks are going to represent your energies as well, okay? And it may be speaking to the masculine side of you, but these do represent you. So this will represent you, and these two do as well. This will be the only deck where we're solely focusing on the divine masculine. Just to get it out there, what is it that we're not really reflecting or considering about this new beginning and this change that in recent seasons we've been getting the message to allow our life to be transformed, which means, hey, listen, there are things that you're going to have to just let happen. You're going to have to let go of control and allow, go with the flow. Now we're being told, grab the torch, get on the freaking horse, let's do this, because it's time for you to change. Okay, so there is an ebb and flow in life in everything, and that includes when God will step back to allow you. Like, God is a good father, and he's not going to just hold you on the back of the bike forever. Eventually, he's going to let you go and watch you as maybe you might have to fall and scrape your knee a couple times. Who knows? You might be a natural and just zoom on out of there. But it's not going to be one of those things where you're always being spoon fed and held, handheld. Okay. So what is it that we're not considering about this because of where we've been? So we have another wand. Oh, events moving at a fast pace, delays are over, many things happening at once. So here's the thing. A lot of you are like, Grace, you don't understand. There's so many different things happening in my life and my divine masculine's life, or maybe there's so many things falling apart. You just don't get it. You don't get that way too many things would have to fall back together in order for things to work out or go in the right direction. But look at that. You don't even know that in reference to this, you picking up the torch, that there's a whole bunch of, this could be your guides, your spirit, your ancestors. This could be God himself saying, you know what, I will carry these other torches for you. You just have to pick up one and I will do the rest of the work. You don't even have to meet me halfway. Meet me 10% of the way, 20% of the way. Just do something now. And guess what? The delays are over. That's another thing you don't get about this. You do not understand, because you keep thinking, look, I've picked up the torch 1 billion times. But you know what God's saying to you? It's not my fault you picked up the torch when I told you not to touch it. It's like when someone tells you, don't eat that food, it's hot. And you go, no, I'm good. And you put it in your mouth and you boil your tongue off. Why did you do that? If you would have waited 30 seconds, blow on it. Golly, do something. But no, you want to jump right in. And so now Divine is saying, listen, it's time. It's time for you to make the changes. There is something exciting coming, and you have no idea how fast things are about to change. Think about the fact that it's already June, going on July. Like, you guys, it was just my birthday, and it's about to be. I know that's how years work. I know that's how time works. It moves. But think about how fast. I mean, we kind of are making jokes about it because 2020 has had so many things just degrading, falling apart, eroding completely, like a cliff falling into the ocean out of nowhere, like avalanches. It's been so much that it's kind of like whatever. And we've been so desensitized over time. It's kind of like whatever. But the truth is, this month or this year, everything has sped by. So if you think you can watch things fall apart, watch how fast things can also be built. Okay. So we're already seeing where if the divine masculines, this is an answer for you right there. If the divine masculine seems to have been going the exact opposite direction for the past 6 months or longer in many cases, guess what? I've been trying to explain to you that, you know what, I think I talked about this in a client reading or something, but I've been talking because Mr. Lightwork has been studying so much lately. That's where I say it's like I have like a freaking test subject in my house just watching Mr. Lightwork do all these. He wakes up and he starts talking to me about stuff now. He used to be quiet. Now he just talks all the time about all these things he's discovering. So we've been talking about the body and working out, anatomy, meditation, all of that. And one of the things that, we've been talking about is this video is long, so you can leave if it's going to be a problem. Yeah, we're just now. I make sure that you guys are letting people know that this is not something that they're going to just be able to pop in and get the message of, oh, unions tomorrow. Okay. But Mr. Lightwork and I have been talking about, oh my goodness, I just forgot what I was going to say. Okay, look, I'm going to keep going. If that message comes back, hold on. Mm. Okay, hold on a second. I remembered what I was going to say, and now this is very funny that this came out the way. Mr. Lightwork and I, long story short, have been talking about growth and the body and all that, and I've tried to explain many times to people that, have you ever saw someone in like high school have a growth spurt, or in middle school have a growth spurt where you come back after summer? And it's usually the guys. Guys grow like that. Women kind of grow steadily. Men tend to have growth spurts. I think it's related to the way their hormones are released and all of that during puberty. And so I try to explain to people that sometimes the divine feminine will be like, oh, look at me. I'm all the way up here in my growth. And then the divine masculine's back there. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's always going to be like this. They're always going to be a step behind me. And then all of a sudden the DM goes, shoo. And now they're 6'5", and you're like, oh my gosh, you were just 5'8". When did that happen? Oh, I just now noticed you. So what's really funny about this is we see the divine masculine and the divine feminine having a different a different approach to their views on how things are going to go on the path moving forward. They're trying to, I see the word hack. They're trying to hack the process moving forward. And I think that it's actually a good thing, right? Where maybe in the past we tried to take shortcuts when it wasn't time, and it ended up leading us to dead ends where we had to backtrack just to get back on the road. And, now we're learning like, okay, before you go, find the shortcuts ahead of time, right? Map it out to where you can have a faster, it's like using a map only, like a paper map, or using Waze or one of those, GPS apps that's like community ran that helps you know where to go and stuff. And so we're seeing this different perspective now on what it is that the divine counterparts are seeing about the journey ahead. But the divine feminine is recognizing, all this time I've been building, I've actually kind of made a pretty decent space for myself. I've always been focusing on the lack. I've been focusing on the 1 pentacle, which is the divine masculine, kind of missing. But if I look at my life in the 9 pentacles I actually have a lot of really beautiful, wonderful things, or maybe I've got a good job or a good career, or I've got food in my house and my rent is paid. Whatever it is, things could be like way worse, and you're starting to look at the different side instead of going, oh my gosh, everything in my life is good or perfect or on the way to being that, except for union, except for my divine masculine. Your perspective has started to shift because either they've gotten far enough away from you where you're starting to either give up or just say, give up on union being tomorrow kind of thing. Or you maybe a long time ago really started diligently working on coping in life without them. Okay. And so now the divine feminine's like, look at that. And so the mind is wandering towards path, towards purpose, and starting to figure out, okay, let me finally put the same amount of energy that I've put into researching twin flames and figuring out how to manifest union into my own life. On the other side, the divine masculine is looking at it, and they're looking at their divine feminine and going, maybe me only having this one thing to offer or feeling like I'm so small and limited, maybe they've been right all along. And I need to be around some type of energy that is more nurturing and more positive and that, more abundant in order for me to achieve the things that I want to achieve. Maybe I don't have to wait for that to happen beforehand. So let's see what's this card. Oh, look at that. Our motives are changing. So the divine feminine is moving with positive energy into, no longer feeling like she's or he is on the back burner, but more now seeing it as, you know what? I'm in a space where I know my divine masculine can't deny what we have, even though they try. And so while they're on their journey of finding themselves and making better decisions, which ultimately will lead them to acknowledging truth rather than denying it, while they're doing that, I'm not going to look at it as it's something about me. I'm not the only thing my divine counterpart denies. They deny themselves. And so we're shifting our perspective and allowing them to go and do their thing more freely. And they're shifting their perspective on, why have I kept the one thing? And not even that. It's not even to say, why have I kept, that's I think the second step of the conversation internally. why have I kept the one thing that's probably a benefit to me on the back burner? I think what's happening is first they're realizing everything else I've tried doesn't work, hasn't worked, won't work. The one thing I haven't tried is the one thing that I've kept around. And I'm starting to realize there's a reason why I keep it around. I am so quick to throw everything else out. I am so quick to say, screw it, whatever. But look at me. So yeah, this is interesting. We're seeing a shift. This is an ego shift for both counterparts. So divine feminine, sometimes you go through growth, and the reason you have to repeat your lessons is because you refuse to see what you've learned. You will acknowledge that you've grown, but you won't actually see what the problem was, and you'll end up repeating the problem, and then it hurts worse because you register in that moment, I think I've done this before, and it was something you thought was over. Those things are coming up to be purged. Divine masculine's ego, I mean, it's done, it's gone. There's a massive shift happening, and it's just, there's so much change going on. That's where we see even the 5 energy here. So new beginnings in the energy of divine, because that's how this energy flows. Divine makes a move, the 5D senses the move, the 5D disseminates the information into the 3D. That being said, this energy flow thus far makes sense. Divine is initiating something. The spirit is saying it's time for change, and the motives behind why, great. Now, what do we need to know about the counterparts? Okay, now, first of all, look at that. All right, but this is what we've got. Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh. Oh, okay, all right. Oh, that was such a message. Right there, before I even, again, I feel like I'm supposed to pause this. Right there, even in the energy, we see a divine masculine who sees that their ego has caused them to turn their back on the things that matter. And so they, through turning their back on their creativity and their passion and their ability to shine brightly, not shine boisterous and braggadociously, but to shine bright just in being humble and pure. They're seeing now that by turning their back on what, again, for them, you know who you are. They see what you could be, but they don't necessarily realize that they could be turning their back on the love of their life. Remember, people don't know that you're the one who got away until you get away. And so here we see a divine masculine who's starting to go, uh-oh, I need to be careful here, because everything that I've been deciding to pursue has actually been blocking me. So not only are we starting to see that our intuition is blocked when our emotions are blocked, which is an issue the divine masculine has had, but then beyond that, when our ego says nothing is good enough, or I've got this one track mind, tunnel vision on things, then guess what? You're never, ever going to be really able to create, because you're going to be so critical that you won't even be able to start. The ego runs through and in and on fear. It's a big fear machine. It runs on fear. The gears are fear. The gas is fear. Everything is fear. Okay, there's nothing about it that is good, other than the fact that when it shows up, it triggers something in us to either fight or flight. Typically we run, but sometimes we stand. And that's what the divine masculine is finally being called to do, but in a different way than they used to. It's no longer going to be, again, fighting with ego. Now it's going to be fighting with honor, which is what we saw in the very beginning. So what's the message here in the 3D? Well, would you look at that? The divine feminine with the 9 of Pentacles waiting on the divine masculine who's recognizing this is a humbled divine masculine. What humbled them? Love humbled them. Whether it was losing you, whether it was the thought of losing you, whether it was the fact that you're the only thing that still stands as all the rest of their towers have fallen, whatever it is, it could have just very well been the overwhelming power of that conquering love within you as a divine feminine that is, I think, what would you, yeah, it's bigger with your DM. I used to say this all the time, even though I hung out with dudes, it was very rare for any of my male friends to ever see the side of me that my boyfriends would feel or see. Rare. We didn't hug, we didn't touch, we didn't, I'm trying to think. I wasn't sweet to them. it was very, I was a dude with them. I was a man, okay, not a woman with them. I was a woman with my divine counterpart. They were often surprised, especially if they met me around guys, they were surprised at how feminine I really was. And so there is something that expands when you're with them and is different when you're with your twin flame. There's something that's just, it's undeniable. And that is what has humbled them. Oh my goodness gracious. This reading right here. Okay. This is good as well because they're receiving the change energy. And the change is coming in the one area where they've been fearful, worried, overwhelmed, stressed, tired, and in complete denial of being ready for union, which is their finances and their material, practical world. Okay, so let's look. Oh, look this is this this reading. Let's look at the divine feminine energy. Okay, and look at this. Okay, look at the two cards that represented the divine feminine, both showing up in the feminine deck. I'm so glad I had this deck here. Whew. Ha! Look at you. Delays are over. That's a sync. Oh, that's a double sync. A triple farm sync. Okay. Two of Wands. What did I just say? You are about to see a divine masculine after a summer away where you go, oh my gosh, you were 5'8" the last time I saw you. This is incredible. What's back here? How is that even possible? She showed up in the initial energy and now she's in the end. And look at that. You see them for who they are and you finally see where you fit. All these wands to start and finish, to cap off this reading. This is where I knew this reading was headed, and I'm not surprised to see this. So, by the way, hello, Eliza. Thank you to all my members and my mods who are here. I love you guys, and thank you for everyone who's decided to join. 317. That's 11 right when I look down. That's amazing. I'm so happy to see it, and it's 10:37. That's 11. Oh, I feel good. Let's yes. I need to say this about this, and we will get into this reading. The divine feminine energy. This is what I've been getting, where I was waiting for more clarification before I did a reading. And then I realized I needed your energy input in order to get the final part of the message. The message is pretty clear though. 2018-ish was the beginning of a divine feminine revolution, but it was not just in the divine feminine counterparts. It was also in the divine masculines. But remember, when you think about a yin and a yang, the divine masculine's inner feminine is a smaller portion of who they are. It's just as important. It's just as powerful. It just represents a lesser portion. And the way it interacts with the masculine energy versus the way the feminine's masculine energy interacts with the feminine energy is going to be different. Okay. But we saw starting in 2018 this massive shift. Think about when the Me Too movement and cancel culture came around. This was the first message I got, was that in many cases, what was meant to be something good and beautiful and empowering, unfortunately, because it was being met by a patriarchal, low vibrational divine masculine energy, the feminines in some cases also got brought down in there. It was fighting fire with fire. And so cancel culture actually became something extremely unhealthy and untribe-like. It seemed tribal in the whole idea of the shun, but it wasn't, because it wasn't healing, it wasn't caring, it wasn't helpful in some cases. Not to say that either movement is horrible, it's just to say that this is what was happening in our society and the way that the lower vibrational people and the unwoke, unaware decided to take it. The unenlightened received it in that way. And so people fought. Well, then let's move forward. Now we see 2019 rolls around, and now the divine feminine is really standing in her power. A lot of twin flames had that time that was revealed. Oh, I shook the table there. That might have been what happened though. There was an earthquake for the divine feminine collective. This expansive energy came in. Divine feminine said, it's time. It's time. Things have to change, and I'm going to be empowered in doing it. In that occurring, we started to see a lot of divine masculines, inner feminine energy also healing. By 2020, we start to now see what? The divine feminine actually taking the steps forward. Guess what's next? The divine masculine is taking the steps forward. forward. So as the divine feminine leads the way throughout 2020, the divine masculine is slowly coming into action. And the beautiful thing about it is they have had the opportunity to heal their inner feminine. This is where I was told to name this message the new age of divine masculinity. I just realized I didn't even think about toxic masculinity. I didn't even think about it. Now I'm sitting here blowed. So, oh my goodness. Okay. So the whole point of me saying all of that is to say our job is to figure out now what's about to happen over the next 6 months, where in 2021, guess what? It is the divine masculine's turn in a very healthy, very positive, very naturally divine way and in divine order to once again lead. I am not saying that all of a sudden the world's going to go back to being masculine led. No. 2020 and 2021 are about bringing both counterparts into their highest possible existence. Okay. They are learning to embody their truth. And so we are going to see, we've already seen it happening this year. The masculines are now stepping in because they see the feminines going out and speaking up. We're seeing all these things happening. This next year of divine masculinity in 2021, these DMs are going to show out. We need to figure out how we can support them, and we need to figure out what the signs and symptoms of this change are. So I'm going to go ahead and get the reading set up now. Again, I also like to give a little bit of time for people to get here. So I think it is nothing short of divine when these messages take a little while to get started and actually lay a spread out. It gives more people a chance to get here because people need to hear these messages. So first things first. Ooh. All right. By the way, to all of you who are donating, thank you so much. Please, 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 if you do, send me an email so that I know how to send you a little something to show my thanks. TC, you know I got you, but everybody else, if I don't know you, please do thefierygrace@gmail.com. Email me if you do donate. Actually, we're going to go here first. Whoa! I don't know. I might have to move this around, guys. Oh, is this one? Oh, that was fast. Okay. Oh my goodness. Ooh, alrighty. Okay. All right. So, oh, and I need one more for this. All right. How am I going to set this up? We've got there. This will go here. We've got, put like that. Okay, that should be, I think you guys should be able to see everything this way. Okay. Everybody, let's take a collective breath. One more, and make sure if you're sitting up and sitting forward, I want you to lean back. If you're laying down, I want you to, as you exhale, release all the tension in your body and melt into your chair, your bed, your location, okay? Again, in. Divine Feminine, you are approaching this message as a sage, as a matriarch. And it is important for you to lean back comfortably, receive the energy in a way that allows it to penetrate, to go through you, to flow out. And then you will cast a judgment, an initial judgment, and then you can do it again later. Okay? All right. First things first, we need to understand what is about to happen. Overall, this is going to impact the entire collective. Overall, this is going to impact the entire world. We saw it coming, but we did not know that it was going to be as soon as it was happening. We did not know. Mr. Lightwork sounds like a radical. A week after for him, you know what woke him up? Protests. For whatever reason, it did. Some people got woken up with the virus and watching how people were treated or watching how things were handled or what. Everyone's getting woken up for different reasons this year. Everyone's getting triggered from one level to another for different reasons. So that was Mr. Lightworks. That has triggered him into going down this deep rabbit hole. I've never seen him more. Oh my gosh. He's also been teaching himself Japanese. I don't know what happened, but it came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, this is this man. He's amazing. So we see it happening. We see it. Some of you can't see it, so you don't know. What is happening now and what is being impacted, I believe, as we have this overlap between Capricorn eclipse or Capricorn Cancer eclipse cycle and the Sagittarius Gemini eclipse cycle. What is happening in the interim to make all these shifts possible? The Eight of Swords. We are overhauling our confidence, our ability to act. A part of the reason why the last season felt so oppressive to so many people in terms of growth and, receiving the blessings and the benefits and all the things that they were working on and all of that was because there was a lot of wait, be patient, a lot of that from divine, and a lot of people did not like the way it felt. It made them feel stuck. And when they tried things and it didn't work because divine was just like, I'm sorry, you can't outwit me. You cannot outsmart me. Because that happened, a lot of us felt oppressed by our guides, our ancestors, our divine who were saying, you can't know. No one wants to hear that. Okay. And so we tried to learn. Some of us tried to understand it and think about it from a higher perspective, and that helped. Others didn't even know. They just felt like they were being punished. They really got caught up in this idea that they had to heal karmic cycles and do all this shadow work. And they did not realize that it was not really about all that. Now, in many cases, all the work that you did was still, helpful in the end, but you were missing the point of the energy. It was about helping you to transform. And it's almost like, imagine how roots grow out of a seed. They got to push out. Imagine how a baby bird cracks out of a shell. Imagine how a butterfly comes out. There could be a very aggressive or, I hear angry, get me out of here. I'm tired of being in here. Like that cabin fever. And I think that was what we were getting a sense of. We felt stuck not knowing that it was a natural process that was required in order for us to be the best of who we were supposed to be in the next season. So this energy is being left behind and we're moving into that Eight of Wands energy that we saw. That is where we're finally saying I can grab the torch. But the first thing that's happening is we're grabbing the sword. This is not confusing to me now that I'm considering the fact that the love letter this week and the fact that the title I was told is I Can't Stop Thinking About Us had a start with the King of Swords. This is saying the divine masculines are stepping out of that space, but that's not where they're going to stay forever. Okay. That's not what it's always going to be. So this is interesting. We're all leaving behind an energy of feeling trapped. We're all leaving behind an energy of being frustrated, nervous, thinking we're not good enough, or feeling like divine is holding us back for some reason and not understanding why, thinking that we're never going to get there, feeling like late bloomers, all of that holding back. The whole time we did not realize that we were in the back of a slingshot, right? Or we were actually wedged into the bow string of a bow and arrow. We didn't realize we were sitting in the little cup of a catapult that whole time. We didn't realize that the further down we got pulled or the further back we got pulled, the farther we were going to go. We did not know. None of us, feminine or masculine. Feminine seemed completely impacted by divine masculine. Why? Because that's our nature. Our nature is we want to be here for the person that we were put here for. Their nature is to do the same. However, their inner self was dormant. And so they didn't even feel like they were good enough. They felt like they would be a burden to us in terms of assisting us. So what are we leaving behind? Let's move into the divine masculine's energy here. Okay, again, this is for all of us. This is for all of us. This is for DM. This is for DF. Okay, so what are we moving? What are we needing to understand about where the divine masculine has been? I normally don't like take two if they come out, but I was led to take these two. So these two cards are going to be what the divine masculine's thoughts were about, I believe, self. But it could have also been about either the DF or the union. But I'm getting a sense of this. It's funny. I'm getting the sense of self. I'm getting the sense that this is the divine masculine's way of internalizing, and this is where we don't get a lot of the communication. Their mind is closed because I think a lot of them actually they repress things, or they spend a lot of time like in these caves of darkness and negativity and pain and evil and insecurity, but then they never tell anybody else and they act like they're fine. So we look at them thinking, oh, they're out here living their best life, having a grand old time, and I'm out here. No, they're not. No, they are not. So what is it we need to know about where their thoughts have been? And please do guide me on what this is about, what they've been thinking about. So that's, first of all, that's 11. 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands, both of these are upright. The 6 of Wands, did I say it backwards? No, I think the 6 of Wands is about the divine masculine being able to go forward in victory. That's how they wanted to go into a relationship with you. They did not see it as a partnership. They did not see it as let's go in together and we can grow together. They see it as I'm supposed to come in and put a crown on you and put you on a pedestal and take care of you, because that is the idea, the toxic masculinity, the getting the trophy wife, right, if you will. That's how they saw it. They saw it as I'm supposed to be the one to come in and swoop in and sweep you off your feet. You're not supposed to be the one to take care of me. I'm supposed to take care of you in every possible way. And until they thought it was their manliness, their masculinity, their protective instincts. They thought that until they were where they needed to be, they would not be able to provide that to you. So that was one of the first issues. And then the fear set in. This is the 5 of Pentacles, which is, you see what? The divine masculine following behind the divine feminine on crutches, no less. So not only can I not protect you, but I'm also slowing you down. And so this has been where the divine masculine is. This is why right now it's important for us to speak life and be positive in this reading, because so many of you watch your divine masculines from afar or make up stories in your head of what they've got going on and make up that you pretend that you are living in your own world of what men want or what women want, and you just think you know exactly what they're thinking. You don't know anything. Do you understand? And I will tell you this, some of them have said things to you that they should not have said in anger, in frustration, or in the name of pushing you away. And even though you knew they were full of crap because their behavior did not match their actions, other than maybe like ghosting, but when they were with you, you saw how enamored they were with you. You took it as, oh, that must be what they mean. Even though you knew, it was like you were mad at them. So you said, fine, you want to say that to me? I'll take it then. That's what you mean. I believe it. So a lot of you, and frankly, a lot of us, because I've done it myself with Mr. Lightwork in the past, we're misunderstanding where these DMs are coming from. And you swear up and down that they're dealing with karmics when a lot of them aren't. You swear up and down that a lot of them are, not growing, not shifting, not changing when they are. You just don't know because you're not there, or because when you are there, you meet them with a certain energy of hesitation and awkwardness, or you meet them with the energy of kind of pushing them. Oh, when can I see you? And you don't ever really meet them where they're at and just say, hey, what's up? And you can say, oh, I do. And some of you might. But there are many of you who will then come and comment on my thing and say, I said, hey, and he couldn't even text me back. It's like, listen, you were expecting something. That is not the right approach. And so what's happening is you are not getting it. You have been missing a lot of the facts. And the truth is, you might say to me, Fiery Grace, you just don't understand. You just don't get it. But let me just ask you this. Have you ever read a romance novel before? I've read almost all of Joanna Lindsay's romance novels. I don't read anyone else. She's just who I grew up on. Every single one of hers, I can think of books right now where one person thought one thing, the other person thought another thing. They were completely wrong. And sometimes someone that they both knew that there was a misunderstanding and stepped in. Other times, Someone that knew them both, knew there was a misunderstanding, and kept it quiet on purpose to play with them. But no matter what, I can't think of a single romance novel that I've read. And most of us are going to have those kind of storytale, romantic, amazing journeys with our counterpart, unless we're just high school sweethearts and we're in union, and you probably ain't watching this reading in the first place. But most of us are going to have a normal romantic relationship where there are issues because it's two freaking people. The moment you add one more person to any situation, it gets complicated because it's two people. Okay, it just is how it is. You are missing so much. And 30 years from now, when you guys are together and happy and joyful, you're going to talk about these days and you're going to realize how wrong you were and you're going to feel bad, and so are they. So why don't you, as the divine feminine who is aware, who is awoke, who is awakened, a leader, enlightened, all of these things, acknowledge the fact that your divine masculine has issues that need to be healed. Stop giving them a hard time because they won't heal them. Some people don't know how, and sometimes they don't want you to do it just because you've offered. Oh, well, I can heal them. No, maybe you can't. And maybe you can, but that might not be what's for them. And maybe you can, and it's just not time yet. But stop being mad at them for choosing the road that they're choosing without at least understanding. And the truth is, once you really understand it, you're not going to be mad. You're going to recognize your own insecurities, your own flaws, your own issues that you had internally, the conflict that you face, the ego issues you still fight off to this day that have nothing to do with union or your DM. And you're going to go, I am so sorry. I've been condemning you this whole time. So, divine masculine, whether we believe it or not, is thinking about the divine feminine, thinking about the fact that they're not good enough. The divine feminine is sitting here thinking something's wrong with them, so they think they're not good enough. The divine masculine, divine feminine are both in this place of insecurity, but we're leaving it now. Because in this new time, this new era that we've entered, there is no more room for insecurity. We're at a point in humanity on a global scale where we really have got to take care of ourselves. And so everyone is looking to do that in new ways. So we see that, unfortunately, the only bad thing about this, that it's good that it's shifting, but the reason why it's been so weird in terms of the journey and has appeared to be so disjointed in terms of the divine masculine's growth is because this 11 is split almost evenly between fear and the need and the drive and the motivation to move forward. So while the divine masculine is moving forward, for every 6 steps they take forward, they go 5 steps back. That's why it's like they're literally moving one step at a time. And then they're having to recover as they reach each new step because they slid 5 back. So give them a shot here because they are ruled here. We might be ruled by emotions. They are ruled by logic and the mind. Okay, so some of you really need to follow my divine masculine, Mr. Lightwork. I say that less because of the fact that I'm trying to get support for him and more for the fact that he says the things that I'm afraid to say to you. You think I'm honest and straightforward. Mr. Lightwork's videos are that part of me that's trying to come in and protect you as my inner DM, which is I think what really comes out of my readings. I think that's why a lot of people vibe with me. His whole DM comes out. So I just do recommend that you guys consider that because he's going to be the one that continues to tell you, work on yourself. Here's why, as a divine masculine, giving you the answers that your DM really can't speak on. I'm just throwing it out there. All right, so we see that we're leaving behind an energy of, it's funny because I put the 6 of Wands on top, not really thinking about it, but look at that. That's what's underneath is the fear. But on top of it is that strong energy that I feel like there's an unconditional love. There's that pull. There's a lot. It's beautiful. So what about emotionally speaking? Because this is where I think the divine masculines really received their overhaul in the past few years. I think it was Aaron, what's his name? Aaron Doughty? I don't know. But he's best friends with Victor Otto. He said once that either when he first started his journey of enlightenment, that he became really effeminate or more divine feminine and he was masculine because the only thing he'd ever seen in enlightened people, in men or masculines, was very feminine traits and behaviors. And my point in bringing that up is Some of the divine masculines have shunned the idea of being wise or enlightened because they think they have to be soft, but they're not understanding that it's more like soft like a samurai. Would you ever call a samurai soft? But when you compare them to other types of warriors, they're so, oh, there's that term again, they're so honorable that the aggression comes after the honor. Everything must be done in honor. So they have to think about things first. And that's where the divine masculine is learning to enhance the inner masculine. Their logic is being covered with love. Think about like a chocolate covered almond or a walnut or I don't know, whatever, something round. And just think about that kind of covering. And so when you bite into it, it's the perfect mixture. Okay. That's how they're learning to approach. But in the past, they've been very anti-emotion because they didn't understand it. They didn't like the way that it felt. So what is it that we need to understand about where they've been and how they're changing? And maybe even again, how this impacts the divine feminine. It's the Ace of Cups. Relationships coming to a new level. A new person enters your life, or a relationship you already have gets better. Forgiveness occurs. A new understanding of love occurs. I mean, this is incredible, actually. Their problem was they didn't understand love. And so remember, this is more saying that in the past they had a challenging understanding or a challenge in really connecting with the idea of love. But this is what's changing. And this was the problem with the divine feminine. This was the issue. This is wild. The divine masculines are leaving behind this kind of disconnect with the idea or the power of love. They're no longer in a place where they're just like, oh, love is stupid, and they just kind of write it off. They're in a place now where they're going, you know, I've spent a lot of my life without love. I've done things my way for so long. Maybe I should try this. Maybe this is a better way to do it. This is incredible. To see the Ace of Cups in their heart space, I also think it means that they're starting to love themselves. And again, I think there are feminines out there who would go, oh, my DM has no problem loving himself, herself. Whatever. No, they don't. In fact, the reason why they would decline such an incredible love from you is because they don't love themselves and they don't think they're worthy. Get back to the energy and the understanding of what divine was bringing in. I don't think it was God trying to make anyone feel sorry for themselves or something like that, or make them have a pity party, sit in a pit of misery. It really wasn't about that. Again, that's what some people take things as when God moves. They're either stubborn or they have such a negative or poverty-based or fear-based mindset that they think everything must be going wrong anytime something changes and doesn't go with what they thought was happening. Oy vey, oy vey. So this is good, because to know that some of the issues that they were having, like the main things I think we're kind of aware of that they were having problems with, these things are showing up in the shift. Okay, so the final thing is the challenges. This is going to be the hardest thing for them to make a change in. And I think the reason why is because it's that how do I say this? Everyone has that one stubborn trait, right? Everyone has that one thing that might even be that I talk about it in the contract reading. It's a blessing and a curse. It's something that's actually in your life. It's divinely placed there. And you will always kind of work on this aspect of yourself throughout your life, because you realize every time it comes up that you keep having the same problems. And so you always try to finagle a way to, okay, how can I stop doing this? And so one of the things that I sometimes would describe in my, the contract readings, when I talk about this position, is sometimes we'll have an issue in the long term. Like mine has always been my weight. And don't worry, I don't need 100 people coming and saying to me, you're beautiful. I am happy. I am fine. What I'm saying to you is, in my early part of my life, I had an unhealthy relationship with food. And so the early part of my growth periods, it manifested as weight gain. And I would notice, oh, my clothes don't fit. And I'd be like, something's weird. But the truth is, the coping issue was never with food. The coping issue was the fact that I used food to cope. The real problem that I was having a coping issue coping with was my relationship with conflict and the way that I handled it. And being someone who was oppressed by my parents and my family and friends and always kind of just, smiled through everything, I pretended nothing was wrong most of my life. And so the older I got, the more that actually turned into a blessing. When I would balloon up and get really, really big, guess what would happen? Something in me would say, maybe I should learn a new something with food. And so at one point I went vegan. I was only supposed to do it for a month and I ended up doing it for 2.5 months because I just loved it. Before that, I hated vegetables. I learned how to make so many vegetables kind of out of necessity. Another time, I ended up learning about counting calories. I learned about what's it called? What's that called? Portioning. Okay, I learned each time I gained so much weight to where I was like, I need to lose weight. I want to get myself to a healthy place just for me. Every time that happened, that I would actually trigger into long-term lifestyle, healthy knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that would change my relationship with food forever. So you might look at that and go, ooh, so you're always going to have a bad relationship with food. Not necessarily. Now that I've grown, maybe in the future, I can use that trigger within me to go, my pants are tight. I must be stressed because I know myself well enough to know that when I'm not, I'm fine. I know myself well enough by this point in my enlightenment. So I may always have throughout my life, forever, some sort of food/weight related issue. But each time it comes up, it actually becomes a blessing. The divine masculines are dealing with something like that here, something that has plagued them forever, something that has taken over their life from time to time, but also becomes the thing that triggers them into making changes and shifts that actually bring, an intense change in their life when it comes to that specific issue, to where the next time it happens, it's not a big a deal. And you may again deal with it forever, or maybe you nip it in the bud in the next few years or whatever. But I believe that God puts those curses on us that we might think are really bad to actually be blessings. They're not really curses. It's just our perspective and our lack of awareness in the moment. So what is it that divine masculine is going to be kind of shifting out of? Maybe making the shift from, it takes, gaining 50 pounds to finally notice, to, okay, I just have to notice when my pants get tight. You see, that's a big difference, right? In terms of the awareness and then the shifts that have to be made to make the changes. So they're moving from this cursed energy to more of an energy of awareness. What is happening? What is the challenge? Two of Pentacles. Now, this is pretty wild. This is the divine masculine in training card. This says their issue is their ability to create, and it's using their masculine gifting. So the card that would coincide with that specific message is the Six of Pentacles. Their issue is acknowledging the resources that they have and their ability to help, their ability to create more out of it. And so when we see the Two of Pentacles in this challenge position, it's telling us this DM is leaving behind this whole basically standing in one place, always thinking, always in conflict, always wondering, and it's impacting their ability to act within their purpose. Now, why is this a blessing on them in the long term? Because if they're able to receive this over time, where they start to realize, I'm getting stuck in limbo again. Okay, I must not be in a high vibration. That's a blessing right there for them, because to me, this is saying this is something they're going to become aware of. And this is the problem with the divine feminine. This is the issue that has led to ghosting, to coming in, to ghosting, to coming in, to ghosting. Because every so often they'll do something or try something, they'll move forward, and then maybe they'll show up. And they'll come and what you may not know is they might be peacocking. They might be showing up and coming into your life to see if you've noticed, to see if you see their change. And I think that for some of you, when you don't, they get really hurt by it. And for some of you, when you do, but then they slip up, they get ashamed. So this is actually a really beautiful sentiment that says, moving forward, the divine masculines are going to be more aware of the issues in a faster light, especially when it comes to their twin flame and how their ideas about money, finances, and their gifting, and their ideas about love, relationships, and their counterpart are so connected, because it's all about shame. It's all about shame. Do you want to know when me and Mr. Lightwork used to actually like get into silly arguments and stuff like that, like frequently? And that was, I mean, before we were ever even together, it was because he would feel ashamed of himself. He would be in a position where he would think to himself, I can't believe I just said that, did that. I can't believe looking back on it, something that I did that in the past. And now I'm getting, brought to terms or task for it. He would be so ashamed. And a lot of you don't recognize that you are either shaming your divine masculine on purpose, or just by being so freaking fantastic, you're shaming them on accident. That stinks. I know you don't mean to do that. I know you have no intention of making them feel that way, but that's what they feel. That's how they are, especially if they've been verbally abused, mistreated, etc. in their life. Okay. So, I just see Brenda. Thank you, Brenda. Ivory, what's up? Thank you for being here. I just saw a note here, positive vibes in the chat. Remember, a lot of the messages that are coming through right now are going to rub you the wrong way, because divine is finally revealing things to you about what's really been going on. So there are things that I'm going to say or cards that are going to come up that are going to stress you out. I need you to let that go or leave and come back when you're ready to watch this and you're not influencing the vibe. Okay. So remember, we're creating a lively atmosphere in the chat, and we're sitting back away. We're not leaning into this reading, constantly searching, where does this end? Nope. We're leaning back as wise sages, as the matriarchs of our time. And we're saying, what's really happening here? Let's acknowledge this. It's like a meeting of the queens and the kings. Everyone's kind of coming together to sit down in a peaceful way, without pointing fingers, pointing blame, or looking for, problems, to say, let's acknowledge this as a overarching a leadership task force, a community task force, something like that. That's how you should be approaching this reading. Okay. All right. It's 11:11. So let's get in line here. So now we see divine is shifting all of us out of an energy of being stuck, held back, etc. Divine is shifting the divine masculine out of the energy of avoiding union. And now that you know that this was a divinely led, divinely ordained cycle for the divine masculine, or a season for the divine masculine, now you can release the feelings of inadequacy for yourself. You can let go of the feeling that you weren't good enough, or that you were doing something wrong, or that you weren't, strong enough, and you weren't a good manifester, or whatever it is that you've been telling yourself. You were wrong. You're amazing. And what your DM had going on had nothing to do with you in many cases. In fact, the only reason I even bring up you making them feel bad or anything like that is just so that you can understand, when you approach them, that you have to approach them the right way and acknowledge where they really are, or else you're going to shame them, you're going to make them feel bad, or you're going to push them away. So I'm not saying that to say you did something wrong or you delayed. You can't really delay, but you can ruin the energy during the waiting time. You can be impatient and miserable rather than being joyful and vibrant. That is what the real problem is. Your union, the journey, and again, I do predestination. I believe it's written, and I believe all unions, all divine counterparts come into union in this lifetime. If you don't believe that, that's another reason why my channel might not be the best for you, like all the readings, because they might rub you the wrong way just philosophically. But otherwise, I believe those things. And so knowing that, you can do nothing to stop this love. You can do nothing to stop this union, but you can be miserable the whole time until then. And then let me ask you, are you really going to be prepared when it's dropped on you out of nowhere? No, because you're going to have to clean up your attitude, let go of the bad habits of worrying, overanalyzing, and being miserable. So fix it now. Get it better now. Get your house in order now. All right. All right. Let's look at the 5D. What do we need to understand is happening? How this change, how is this impacting us here? What do we need to know? Emotional balance. We saw balance show up in our energy with what? The Chariot. The reason why you have not been able to move forward, why you have not had the willpower, why you have not been able to focus completely, is because you were unbalanced. You were all over the place. You were being thrown about. Every time they showed up or ghosted you, your life either was perfect or ended. I get messages constantly of people saying, I'm in union, and then 3 days later, I haven't heard from them. I'm sorry, I'm going to say something that is unpopular opinion. Sex is not union. Okay? Does not mean that if you started off having a friends with benefit relation, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that if you guys get together and hang out one time, no matter if it's just a phone call or going all the way and spending a weekend together, that is not union. That is why, in spite of the fact that Mr. Lightwork lived with me, we were together for a full year, well, let's say about 6 months before we ever became boyfriend and girlfriend. And then we were together, had a title and all of that. And guess what? I still called it pseudo union. I wanted to be sure before I got myself into that mentality. So please be cautious, be careful, love each other, love everyone around you, be in a good space, be in a good energy. That way, when your DM comes around, you don't have to go and fix the messes that you've made in your misery. You don't have to go back around and tell everybody, oh, he or she has finally straightened up and they finally coming around after you done told them that 10 times and now you're embarrassed. All that, just be happy, be love, be good in that love, be hopeful and faithful. Be kind. Be kind. So, what is it that we need to understand? What is it we not reflected on about the imbalance? What is it that we're missing about this even now? Remember what I just said about the Chariot? Remember what I said about being miserable, depressed, angry, whatever? Look, all of that negativity was clouding you, clouding your whole life. It was like going through a foggy shoreline and knowing I cannot approach the shore right now. I might run into something. I got to be cautious here. You couldn't really see, so you couldn't do what you needed to do. Now that it is cleared, now that you are, the Knight of Swords is the fastest knight in the deck. I talk about the Knight of Swords and say this knight, I think about King David before he was king. He was a warrior in the army for Israel, and he was an incredible leader. And he did like spy missions. He was just so beastly. And then later he became the king. I see that Knight of Swords energy like that. I see someone who is not only highly skilled and a warrior, but I also see someone who has the mind, because guess what? This person becomes the King of Swords. And so again, we're getting that samurai, honorable, but remember, underneath it is like a ninja samurai. So imagine someone who by day is a samurai, but by night is like a ninja in the wind. You can't even see them because they're just so amazing. That's what I see. I see you finally being able to move with purpose, and the divine masculines as well. This is not just for the DF. This is for both. This is both. Both of us, we're all becoming emotionally balanced. This is, matter of fact, I just realized something. This is a sign that what's happening is by 2021, I believe this is the card of the year for 2021. Let's everybody remember that and remind me later, okay? Because seriously, this right here to me is who the divine masculine is going to be, which is going to allow the divine feminine to be the Queen of Cups, that intuitive, compassionate, calm energy. I believe that we are rebuilding our society come 2021. And so all of that is happening, but we've got to make the changes, right? We got to do all that now. Both counterparts are experiencing this feeling and this feeling. And we're not moving forward as a bumbling idiot. We're not moving forward in the opinionated, hasty, low vibrational energy of the Knight of Swords. We're moving in the highest possible energy. This is dang near the king. He's just left his station and he's on the horse right now. This is a warrior king. That's what I see. To me, this is representing more the King of Swords energy than the King of Cups. And I just realized I called the King of Swords earlier. So because that was the first thing we had to do here. Oh, this is getting deep. This is getting deep. This is getting deep. So it's interesting because we're seeing, we talked about the swords energy in the 8. Okay, great. Well, now we've got the Knight and the King of Swords. Okay, cool. We talked about the Cups energy, finding things that are meaningful in our life. Boom, we've got the new energy and the King of Cups. It's like all this masculine shifting is occurring right now because they're seeing as the king that they have to uphold the energy of the suit that they're in. So if you're the King of Cups and you want to be the king so bad, guess what? You have to hold the Ace of Cups and all that comes with it, all the energy that comes with it. So both the 5D and the 3D, all of us are experiencing this new energy of release, of going out and conquering and building, and it's beautiful. Now in the 5D, we're starting to see The reason why the next year will be a new divine masculinity, dope. So what is it that we need to know overall for everyone involved on the 5D? What is it we need to know? What is about to shift, happen, come into play? What do we need to know? Wow. It is time for the shift, the fear, the energy of constantly thinking that things are going to go wrong to go away. If you are going to receive this blessing of the release of fear, then that means that your fears about your mission and not being able to do it are a problem. See this right here, the Five of Pentacles, it talks about also entrepreneurship. It talks about being able to go forward and create something in spite of the fear that is associated with it. And it really, to me, is about self-employment, not just, employment otherwise. In the fact that this is in the 5D says to me, and the fact that it's actually directly underneath is further proof that this is what has to happen to help us move forward. But to see this here, it says, look, this is about your light work. This is about your mission. This is about all the things that you are meant to create and build. And if you continue to be thrown about like a wave in the sea, if you continue to experience the fear and you do not allow the new energy to flow in, you will never move to the next step. You will never move to the next stage. And you will never have the, I think, clarity that you need to do your mission, which will make you too afraid to move. So you'll never have the momentum you need. All of that is a problem. All of that has to be solved, has to be fixed. And so this is saying, remember, divine feminine, your focus has been way too much on the DM rather than the mission, which is the whole reason you even have a divine masculine. And divine masculine, your focus has been way too much on fear and blaming God and being in your misery and being frustrated about, the problems that, frankly, because of the fact that you deny so many of the blessings that come your way, you turn your head and you turn your back and you say, no, I don't want that. I want what I want. Because of that, you've basically invited in this pain, and that's all been your ego. So both counterparts have to release their focus, get out of that 15, and look at that. That's it right there. 1-5. This is low vibrational, low emotional energy. Get out of there. Get out of that space where divine masculine is looking at the divine feminine either bitter or jealous or mad or scared or embarrassed or shamed. The divine feminine is looking out at the world going, I know, right? I don't even got a masculine. Where's my masculine at? And then the devil looking at both of y'all like, ha, got him. No, thank you. No, thank you. So 5D is saying to you and to your counterpart, both of you need to step your game up, to see your light work as more than possible, more than feasible, more than just doable. See it as the next step. It is what it must be. I am going to move forward no matter what happens. So, divine feminine, what are you doing right and what are you doing wrong? Period. This is 3D. Okay, we're talking about in the 3D, how are you helping and how are you hurting? Again, if you're not supposed to be here right now, you should have clicked off a long time ago, okay? But let's find out. How are you helping? What are you doing right? 7 of Cups in reverse. You have stopped procrastinating and you have been stepping into your light work. There's still a little bit of fear associated with it, but you recognize that very soon you will reap the benefits of this. You will, at the very least, as the seeds start to sprout, you will start to have some joy. You're going to be moving into, even if it's not 10 of Pentacles, with the greatness of the prosperity, at the very least, you're moving into joy. It's the feeling I get when I hand a homeless person a homeless bag and I start to drive away and I watch them, if I made sandwiches or, usually I almost always put water in the bags. But sometimes I'll even make them like a sandwich. And when I watch them tear that thing open and start I don't know what it is, but knowing that I, even for a moment, help to sate that hunger, that human issue that stops them from being able to focus and have that clarity and that peace of mind, just for a moment, it literally breaks me down and builds me up in the same instant. I will break down into tears as well as feel the most tremendous sense of purpose and value that I made a difference at the same exact time. That is where you're going to be when it comes to your journey and your light work. You're going to begin to look and approach things and say, this is it. This is the moment. this is the thing I'm supposed to do, or this is where I'm supposed to start. Or maybe I don't know where I'm supposed to start, so I'm just going to start somewhere. I'm going to volunteer. I'm going to, take $5 in ones out of my, every paycheck and keep it in my car, and I'm going to make sure I hand it out. Or, I'm going to start putting random envelopes on, my coworkers' desks with $5 in it, or whatever. I don't care what you do. Gift cards, kudos. I think you're a great coworker. Thank you for everything you do. Writing people heartfelt notes. And you are here to light up the world, and you are no longer procrastinating in doing it. Now, the only thing I will say about this card is you're still unsure. And I think it's important, Divine Feminine, that you gain some surety, some clarity, some focus. Now that you're leaving this ego energy behind, change this, keep the 7, keep the path, keep the momentum, but shift this out of a 7 of Cups energy, which is still too emotions based, and shift this into Chariot energy. Shift this into let's do this. If you like this video so far, please like it, share it, all of that, but make sure you like it now. I have a feeling there's someone who needs to hear the next message, and people, you guys know you click on videos because they have a lot of people watching or a lot of likes. So if this is vibing with you, please do like it. Otherwise, you don't have to, you guys know me, but if you do, help me out, help them out, get this message out. Okay, here's what you're doing right. So what are you doing wrong? How you've been helping is focusing on your light work, because that you're triggering your divine masculine to do the same. You're shifting yourself from the devil energy, the ego energy, into the lovers, okay? Into, decisive focus, because they're watching you do it and they're thinking, oh, I got to move. I got to do what I got to do. So what is it that you're doing wrong? How many times did we see this? This is crazy. Now, and look at this. It's right under the, oh my goodness. Hold on. Hold on, Divine Feminine, because this is deep. Whew. Divine Feminine, early in the message, we received that the Divine Masculine is finally ready to buckle down. All of us are, but the Divine Masculine is the one who needed to hear it. Divine Feminine needed to just adjust. Divine Masculine needed to get on the path. Divine Masculine is about to make that turn, make that shift. But all they've got is the 1 pentacle. They really don't see their value yet. They've been humbled in so many ways. So the way that they're approaching life is like that. Very unsure, hesitant. They don't really see their value just yet. You, as we've mentioned in the very beginning of this reading, have started to shift and change. And the way that you view all the union journey, twin flame, all of the concept is shifting, is changing. And you're starting to focus less on the lack, which is I don't have union, and more on what I do have, which is, love in my life. Even if it's not the person I want, I have it everywhere else. I've been manifesting. I've been learning about myself. I've been learning about others. I've been doing all this amazing work. You're starting to focus on the fullness rather than the lack. But you're not enjoying it. So I will tell you that some of you are just in the moment starting to recognize your power, how amazing you are, how much you deserve to be able to just live your best life rather than trying to follow behind someone who's not paying attention to you, whatever, wherever you've been. Some of you, there's not even a back and forth or a game with your divine counterpart. It's just you've already just kind of said, I haven't talked to you for a while. What's meant to be will be, and you're living your best. So I get it. Everyone's in a different space in how they do this. But the 9 of Pentacles is not just about, I call this the Proverbs 31 woman. This is the queen in her garden. This is to me a sign of true abundance. And I think it's interesting that what I see here is you're getting a message about the Cancer and Capricorn eclipses. You're getting a message here that this Cancer eclipse is not going to be the thing that, and this is going to be big, but I think that's going to impact the divine masculine more. It's the Capricorn eclipse that might do you in. If you're not paying attention, if you're not aware, if you're not helping yourself. The Capricorn energy, and remember, that's an eclipse cycle that's closing. And so that Capricorn energy is asking you to invite in abundance. The reason why you don't have more and don't experience more abundance in all aspects of your life is because of your focus. And if you continue to focus on the negativity, you're going to keep the cycle that was meant to end and be a terminal cycle. At least for the next decade, you should not have to deal with the energy you've dealt with for the past 2 years. If you keep focusing on the wrong things, you're going to bring it into the next one. And that's going to be a big problem, because the next cycle is all about belief and duality, meaning you're able to move forward and make moves no matter what happens. It's almost like you're on two paths at once. You know what I just saw? I just saw someone playing Monopoly, except they have 2 game pieces instead of 1. So when they roll the dice, they take a second and they go, which of these pieces am I going to move? If I move this one, I'm going to land on luxury tax. If I pick this one, I'm going to land on free parking. And if we're playing the game the correct way, we're going to get that money that's in free parking. That's in the middle of the deck. Okay, anyways, that's what I see. I see someone who, and you know what's funny? As I say that, I recognize that was my advice to you guys when the pandemic began, was, look, a lot of us as feminines, we like to be organized and have an idea of what's going forward, especially if we're in our kind of a balanced state. Our inner masculine, that logic and organization and structure is present. And so I've been telling everybody, the way that you should approach the next few years is to have a best case scenario, everything just goes away magically, and then a worst case scenario of, okay, the economy gets worse and, you know, the travel bans and all this stuff continues, and just plan for both. And then know that somewhere in the middle is where you're going to be. And so that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing people who are learning how to be dynamic in everything that they do. That is what you were in training. That Capricorn Cancer energy was about being in training and preparation for the new cycle. 2020 began with a pandemic for a reason. Have you asked yourself what it means to you in the long term yet? Have you asked yourself what it's done for the collective yet? I'm going to leave it there. Final messages are here. This is what we need to understand, that we're either missing, that we are ignoring, things that our guides are trying to get through to us. So we're going to get the initial message here. So this part of the reading over there, okay, that was one thing. And now cover that up. This part of something separate. Okay. So if you're just getting here, you might be meant to hear this before you hear this, and maybe you go back later, or maybe you're just here for this. What's up? I'm Fiery Grace the Gifted. So we see what's happening here. What is it that we need to know about what's next? Okay, that again, if we don't get it, we're not going to get it. Okay, we're not going to get it anywhere else. So let's find out. Overarching message. Wow. Holy cow. If you want to be a part of the energy of 2021, which is the divine masculinity, it is the new energy. Okay, it is giving the masculine a chance to fix things, that right wrongs, and to turn things around. Okay, if you want to be a part of it, then you have to lead by example. So every move you make for the next 6 months, I want you to just say, hey, what am I supposed to be doing here? Ask yourself, is what I'm doing something that if someone watched me, this is going to sound crazy, but I'm hearing divine feminine, have some freaking integrity. Have some freaking integrity. And again, don't worry, Fiery Grace is going to watch this message later and get slapped in the face, because I'm already starting to feel the conviction. Have some integrity. Do the right thing when no one's watching. And when you're doing things where maybe I'm not there, maybe all your spiritual friends aren't there, and it's just your 3D friends, right? Maybe it's just your that family member that y'all just like to, you know, talk trash, gossip, spill the tea kind of thing, or whatever it is. When no one is watching, or no one important in that moment is watching, are you going to do the right thing? Your sole focus right now should be on your dreams, on your goals, nurturing out of that mission that you're on. If you don't know what your mission with you and your DM is yet, figure it out, or at least figure out where your part might be. You know how you start? You start with an assessment of your gifts. You start with an assessment of your skills and traits. So that's 3D traits and abilities, professional experience, etc. And then 5D giftings and the experiences that you've had with those. You start there. You start with your passions. What do you care about? Mr. Lightwork just experienced an explosion of passion when these protests began. He is a Black immigrant in America. Can you just imagine? Okay. So what I'm saying to you here is, it is time for you to get it fully all the way together, because you're the one that everyone is watching. All your friends and family that know you're the spiritual one, your divine masculine that knows that you're gifted, whoever, your kids that you are influencing, who are the next generation of twin flames, they are all watching. If every single divine feminine watching this message decides to act right over the next 6 months, do you understand the ripple effect that that's going to have on our society? Do you understand how powerful we are? Y'all watch things manifest instantly. Sometimes God will give us that, just as a reminder to watch your mouth, right? Things will manifest like that. You'll go, oh my gosh, the signs and syncs that come and go, oh no. So listen, get it right. Do it right. And focus on what needs to be focused upon in your highest vibrational feminine, and you will usher in the age of divine masculinity. Some of you are going to be a little bit taken aback by that, a little affronted. Well, why should we allow the divine masculines to come in? Shouldn't we be equals? Yeah. And guess what? If this is your year, he gonna have his year. She gonna have her year next year. And maybe the year after that, it's a together year. Who know? I don't know, but I'm just telling you what I see and what I've been sensing and how much sense it makes now that this reading has revealed. So divine feminines, nurture your dreams. Divine masculines, because I've been finding out that from time to time, I have DMs that watch my videos, which is kind of confusing. Not just like feminine, or how would I say, not just female DMs, male DMs, it's wild. You need to ask yourself, what parts of you have gone through the overhaul and the shift in the feminine? You need to ask yourself what parts of your life have been begging you, please take care of me, nurture me. And you need to focus, because you are now in a period of preparation like never before. So feminines, support your masculine by showing them how. Ooh. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. Okay. What don't we understand about this? 10 of Wands. Too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance. Stress-related health concerns. So guess what? This should have been the Wheel of Fortune. That's what this really should be. We should get this message, and immediately the way we should take it is let's go forward. But if we're missing the message, if we're missing the mark, then what are we really missing? We're missing that Capricorn death energy. I'm telling you, that Capricorn energy is showing up right now as death. Not to say that something is going to be killed, but to say that something is already dead. And right now, we've got to clear the battlefield. If you do not allow the balance to come in, if you continue to allow the stress to stop you, the pain or the fear of not being in union to ruin you, all that, come on. You're going to miss your opportunity, so don't. What's this? 6 of Cups wants to show up. Hello. What is this? Okay, hold on. There's a message, though. Here's the problem. You've been romanticizing the past, and there are some issues from your history or childhood that you're allowing to impact your ability to move forward. You're allowing what you think you know about relationships and partnerships to influence your journey. You're allowing painful moments from the past or beautiful experiences with your DM to impact every waking moment of your life. Some of you are holding back, and some of you are trying to push things forward, but whatever the case is, your focus has to shift. So, Divine Feminine, what does this mean for you? We're going to start with you. Oh, well, would you look at that? 7 of Wands, upright, Divine Feminine. It is time to clear the way for the new beginning. So here's the thing. As much as it might frustrate you to hear that not only did you have to wait on your Divine Masculine to get it together and blah, 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 but on top of it, now you have to be the one to go clear the path for them. Yep. It's like Jesus when they laid all the palm branches and everything on the ground and prepared the way so he could come in on the foal, on the donkey. You know, it's like you have to prepare the way for the Savior. Now, I'm not saying your Divine Masculine is Jesus and all that. My point is to say that you're going to have to humble yourself, again, as a sign of respect. It's like when Mr. Rogers, back in a time when racism was really prevalent, worse than, I won't say worse than now, but I guess in a different way than now. You know, he washed the feet, I believe, of a black police officer. Was that correct? A corrections officer, something like that. But he washed the feet of a black man on national television in order to show the way and to lead the way when other people out there might have been saying, listen, Mr. Rogers, I really vibe with you. You're kind, neighborly, but I don't know how to interact with them. It's like humble yourself to the point that you would wash their feet with your bare hands. That is what you're doing. You are saying, divine masculine, in my unconditional love, I care that much about you that in spite of everything you've put me through, in spite of all the ways that you've hurt me or treated me or made me, triggered me, made me impatient, whatever it is, I am going to clear your path for you. I'm not going to do the work for you, but I'm going to make sure with all my power, anything I believe that might stand in the way from the outside perspective, not trying to meddle in your life, but from the outside perspective, I'm going to clear the way. For some of you, that just means clear the way for yourself. Get rid of your problems with your divine masculine. Get rid of the conflict and the internal bitterness that you have. That might be what your real charge is. That might be your real challenge. But no matter what it is, the Seven of Wands, I see this as, in some cases, and in this energy, I see this, the person who goes out before the Fool to clear the path from that cliff. What if the Fool had gotten down there and couldn't take the leap off the cliff because they couldn't even get to the edge because there was so much brush and branches that they would have just ended up jumping and hanging. Okay, so you're the one who's going to go down there and do that. Okay, you're going to be the one who has that unconditional love and leadership, and you're leading the way because guess what? You're probably going to jump off before them. So why not be okay with them following right behind you? And you had to do all the work. Why not be okay with it, knowing that in the end, there's going to be points where you cannot go any further and they're going to be carrying you. So this is what you have to do. How will you do this? Nine of Wands. Protect what you've created and have courage. Don't be afraid to step out and do what needs to be done. And this is, I believe, having courage in yourself. Here we have a lack of self-confidence and fear of taking action, and here we have courage. Okay, so Divine Feminine, what's your message? We'll go ahead and get it all together. Four of Wands. Divine Feminine, you are not wrong to want union. You're not wrong. It's in you. It is innately in you to seek and to crave that partnership because you are a nurturer. Your job is to nurture. That's why they say that women will get a biological clock ticking and want to have a baby at a certain point, and they'll get baby fever or whatever. It's a part of your nature as a divine feminine to want to do these things, to want to experience these happy home connectedness, all of that. There's nothing wrong with it. Just make sure that you understand that your divine masculine is not your project and that union is not your end goal. Union is the bonus. Union is the reason why that you even have a divine counterpart, but it's not the end all be all of your existence. Okay? So let's be happy where we're at. Let's be happy where we're going, and let's be happy knowing that what we're going to have in the long run, because of what we decide to nurture and because of what we allow in. You remember this card? The divine masculine is holding two bouquets. Do you understand that? Sometimes the divine masculines experience things that might make you jealous if you're not in the right vibration. They're going to have a double victory by the time you get together. So let them go through those experiences. They're in the Six of Wands, you be in the Four of Wands, but don't allow this energy of you wanting union and them wanting to come forward, put you guys in a stressful place. Don't do that. Get yourself to a position where you're in the 1 and 0 energy, the magician, the initiator, and the fresh start. That's how your union should begin, not because you pressured someone or stressed someone into it. Okay? Now, final message for the divine masculine. What is the divine masculine needing to do right now? Well, look at this. Divine feminine has already done a lot of work and has a lot of things already in place and in motion. So he is in to clear the way and move forward, protect what they've created. The divine masculine's job is to get to work, is to start trying. I hear practice makes perfect, but I hear we're not aiming for perfection, but we understand that with practice, we can do much better and we can start to move forward towards the life we really want. And guess what we have here? Here we're going to have 10 of Pentacles. If the divine masculine takes this challenge and is willing to accept that and say, I will fight, I will make sure that I learn to make better choices and decisions and don't let fear stop me. If they decide to do that, they will experience something really, really beautiful as they move forward. What do they have to do? 3 of Swords in reverse. Heal. Look at that. That's 11 again. Heal, divine masculine. Let the pain be released. Heal, divine masculine. Allow yourself to feel good and truly take the sword out of your heart. That's probably where we're going to get this over here. It's in their heart. Divine feminine, you might be feeling like, oh, look at that, the hermit comes out. You might be feeling like you can't move forward because you can't find your sword of truth, and it's maybe because it's in the divine masculine's heart. You might have been the one to put it there. Some of you say some things and you say, well, they deserved it. Look what they said to me. Look what they did to me. Or it was an accident. I didn't mean to say it. I feel bad about it. It doesn't matter. You still did it. So again, we all have a lot of room to grow, and we've got to start to be real with ourselves. Okay. We got to start being kind. We have to start being relentlessly optimistic when it comes to union. And that way, when we talk to our divine masculine, that's all they sense and feel from us is hope. Okay. So what is it the divine masculine needs to know? What is it the divine masculine is getting the final message on in the 3D? Here's how you're supposed to be moving right now. Here's where your focus should be. What is it? 9 of Cups. What's dope is the 9 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles. I often say that this is the DM and this is the DF, like in their fullness. The divine masculines is going to be like organized, like trophies, really, shined up, and they're going to sit in front of it and say, look at this. The divine feminine is going to be more inviting and say, just come to my garden and let's just wander. Oh, doesn't it smell delightful? But anyway, okay. So that's what I see here. The divine masculine's job is to focus on their dreams. You see, they're right behind the feminine. Right behind. It's like, feminine, focus on your dreams. You already know them. Clear the path for the divine masculine, since your dream is union, since it involves union, since, you know what I'm saying? And then over here, we've got divine masculine. You focus on your dreams, because what you're going to start to see deep down is everything you've ever wanted is right with your divine feminine. If you're still here, please like this video. Do not forget, every month I offer exclusive bonus readings. They are standalone readings. They are not extended. I do not really agree with the whole idea of the extended. I don't want anyone who cannot afford a reading in the moment to have to pay to hear the rest of a message. So all my readings that are public are free, but I do have an exclusive divine masculine message, an exclusive divine feminine personal reading, which this one is an hour and 20 minutes. I have an exclusive love letter, rune reading, as well as a prophetic message. You can buy all of them. You can buy one of them. They're all under $15 each, and the packages help you save. If you're interested, you should purchase, because frankly, the messages that came out this month were wild. Like, oh my goodness. And anyone who's already seen them, y'all go ahead and comment and let the people know that they need to see it, because whew, they're powerful. And I think that this message here, if you haven't gotten the DM exclusive yet, and especially if you resonated with the last DM message, you're going to want to see it. Otherwise, I hope that as you move forward, you start to think about things with this new perspective of, maybe I really don't know where my divine masculine's been. Maybe I really don't know where my divine masculine is right now on their journey. Maybe, since I have no actual proof that there is a karmic person, place, or thing in their life, maybe that's not even happening or going on anymore. Or maybe that person that I keep calling their karmic, as some of you know, I do not agree with some of the terms we use in Twin Flames. I just use them because I know that's the language. But I do not believe that karmics are what we think they are. And I think that we should stop calling people who are in our divine masculine's life, just because we don't like them, because we see them as a barrier to union, karmics and all that negative stuff. In fact, most of them are twin flames as well. So you're hurting a sister or brother out there by being mad at them for what their job is in regards to helping your masculine change. You should be thanking them. And I know that sounds crazy. And again, I know a lot of people don't vibe with me because the perspective that I have kind of forces you to be, I don't know, completely loving, really grown up about your business, and too kind, and almost you sometimes you'll feel like a doormat because you're so used to standing in defensive energy. But I'm telling you, that's not the way that you're supposed to be, especially not in a twin flame concept. So please make sure that you take some time with this message and understand the resonance, the things that came through. Do your best to be kind to yourself as you release the things that are not for you. Give yourself the break that you deserve for even recognizing that a change needs to be made in that perspective. I'm proud of you. Don't be hard on yourself and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're so mean to ourselves. Don't do that. But get the message here and look at what we're leaving behind and look at what we're coming into. This is real. This is important. And so are you. So I'm done. I know this was a long reading. I know I have not been here for a live in a while. So some of you are like happy and excited and so happy to be able to vibe with the tribe in the live, which is dope, dope, dope. And some of you were like, oh my gosh, Grace, can you just hurry up? Nope, I can't. This is how my messages flow. So I may not be the reader for everybody, and that's okay. I'm not even a tarot reader. I just use cards. I'm not. So I get it. I get all the reasons why you might not want to be here. But for those of you who stayed, for those of you who are new and don't know my personality and stuck around where I might have said things that were triggering just from the way I talk, I'm proud of you because you got the freaking message. But now you have to take it the next step and actually get the message, okay? All right, so right now I have a 25% off sale. Pretty much everything on my site is 25% off. You can just visit thefierygrace.com to see the services that I have available. I'm Fiery Grace the Gifted. Welcome to my channel. I'm an intuitive life strategist here on YouTube. Again, I'm not a tarot reader. I'm a prophetess. I'm a high priestess. I believe that in the future I will be deemed a saint. But right now, I am a human being, just like the rest of you, trying my very, very darndest to be a good person, especially when I'm on this twin flame journey. My divine masculine and I are in union, yes, but we still experience the same ups and downs and trials and tribulations as we would have apart. So please allow yourself to come into fullness and make sure that if you're on my channel, you recognize that I don't do this for my health. I do this because I love you guys. I saw a niche that needed leadership in the twin flame community, and I've been providing that for the past year and a half. And I can tell you, I know what it takes to get into union. If you don't want to listen to me, keep fighting, keep ignoring that truth. But if you are one of those people who has seen the work, if you do it and if you do it right and you've seen it pay off, you already know love always wins. Kindness will conquer any hate. And it is real. Union is real. Twin flames are real. And the things that you feel are not meant to make you feel negative or hateful or frustrated, impatient. Those are your old ways, old habits seeping in to this journey. Cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. Watch more videos. Watch my Lightworker videos. Even if you only like love letters and DM readings, watch the other things that I do. Watch the Divine Feminine readings. If you're going to order a DM reading from me, make the next one you order a DF reading. Focus on who you are. Aw, thank you, Priestess Goddess, for joining. Oh yeah, by the way, I also have memberships, and my members get special perks, like they get cool emojis and stuff like that. Let me see, can I show you guys one? If you're in the chat right now, you should see, what am I going to type? I'm going to do this one. You should see that there's a few emojis. Boom. So there's cool stuff. You get special stuff. So if you want to join, please do continue to support my channel. And those of you who are present, thank you. But otherwise, if you're here and you vibe with me, remember who I am. I am an intuitive life strategist. I am here to give you strategies to live your best life. And the reason why I trigger you is because I intuitively sense what you need. So thank you for understanding me, for dealing with all my different personalities and approaches, and knowing that you might get a different grace every time. Thank you for respecting that and allowing me to provide you with the messages that come, because this one right here, every twin flame should hear it. Unless you already know what's about to happen, every twin flame should get this message. And from time to time, I have one, and I believe this is one of them. If you need to ask me any questions, email me, thefierygrace@gmail.com. Also, if you'd like information about what it's like to work with me, like the process, just send me a blank email to, again, thefierygrace@gmail.com, and you'll get information about the whole process from beginning to end. And it's just an auto reply, and I don't spam you guys. So anyone who's, been on my email list for a while can attest to that. I don't have the time to do that. And I wouldn't anyways, even if I did. I love you. If you haven't heard it today, if you haven't heard it in a while, I love you. If you say, how do you know that you love me? Because I do. I have never met a client. I have never met a subscriber, a viewer. I have never met anyone in this tribe that I did not love and feel like, I think Brenda said it best. Brenda said, one day or I feel like one day in the past, you and I shared a bottle of wine. Like that's how I feel with you guys. So when I tell you I love you, it's no joke. When I know that you're drawn to my channel, I've learned over time, there's a certain type of person that comes and really vibes with me. And I know I love you. So I want to thank you. Oh, itty bitty karma. What's up? New members all around. I just want to tell you that I love you. And I think that you're amazing. I think the fact that you stuck through this reading, the fact that you even follow me or vibe with me at all, and again, not to toot my horn, but to simply say, I know where my mind is. I know where my heart is. And the fact that you vibe with me, as rough as I can be and all that, you're doing the right thing in your life right now in trying to get better. So congratulations. You are now following or subscribed to a coach who is here to help you through your union journey as well as your light worker journey. All right. I think that's everything. Oh, if you're still here, thank you for being here. You can go if you have no other interest in learning more about what I've got going on right now. But there's a few things that some of you might want to know. So I love you. I'll see the rest of you guys later. If you're still here, first things first, I am looking for artists and graphic designers and everything in between. I have a bunch of projects that I'm working on, down to things like my logo and my professional package with my business, even images of me. I'm trying to get some things like stylized in different ways. So whatever. My point is, if you're interested, send me. By the way, the emojis are boom, wow, nope, love. Guys, I made more. Yes and no. So, oh no, nope is no. So wow, boom, love. I don't remember the rest. My bad. Those are the ones I can remember. Anyways, you just have to put a colon on either side of the word. But so, Fiery Grace, where were you? I got distracted. I saw someone say it. Talking about the things I've got going on. Membership. I don't remember what I was just saying. I'm going to go to the next thing. I have a seminar. I have 2 seminars coming up. Some of you have already experienced it. One of them is called Living the Dream. And that is for people who are interested in creating their own YouTube channel or working from home. But I have created, through popular request and demand, I have created a second seminar that is a walkthrough through YouTube. So if you already have a channel or you have interest in creating one and your main fear is the user interface of YouTube, I am going to walk you through every single thing you need to know top to bottom. We'll upload a video, we'll go through the process. So if you're interested, please do join those seminars. So we've got seminars, I feel like I was telling you something important and I forgot it. I should probably write this stuff down, eh? I think that's what I can remember right now. So maybe that's all I should tell you. Oh, the artwork, the artist, my bad. Yes, thank you. If you want to provide me, it's paid. I'm not asking for anything for free. Or if you really would prefer to barter because you'd rather get a reading, maybe we could work out where if you decide to barter, I'll give you like a bigger discount on the reading, but I don't want to cheat anybody. So it's all paid commission work. So if you're interested, all you have to do is email me. Please don't email me a whole long bunch of paragraphs about why I should be choosing you. I intend on working with more than one person. By the way, that's my dog in the background. He's very thirsty. His name is Ricochet. He is a Gerberian Shepsky. Anyways, Gerberian. But yes, so email thefierygrace@gmail.com. It's right here. And all you have to do is send me either 2 to 3 pieces of your work or a link to your portfolio. That's all I need right now. So if you're interested in working with me and receiving payment for commissioned work, a variety of different things, just send me your work. Again, I do ask that you are a professional, which simply means, it doesn't even mean anything. It just means if you're going to tell me that you can do work for me, be prepared to get it done and actually do it. I will not be waiting a year for something. Now, if you have a thing that you do that takes that long, let me know ahead of time and let me decide. But otherwise, make sure you're qualified to do commissioned work, meaning you know how to go through that process with someone who's asking for your gifting and abilities, okay? So otherwise, if you want to join the seminars, you're going to go to the website. You can type in the search seminar and they'll come up. I will also link it once this live is over. And the seminars, there's different tiers to it. So they're all the same. It's just a tiny bit different. So both seminars have a replay where you don't actually go to the seminar. The next day, you just have 24 hours to watch the replay. That's good for people who are either shy, don't have the funds right now, or want to be able to kind of slow things down and, repeat, which If you go to the next level, which you actually get the seminar access as well as the workbooks that will go with either seminar, then you also receive the replay so that the next day you can go back and go through it more slowly, or whatever, however you want to do it. And then the top level, which the case studies for the next seminar are sold out. So the seminar still has space open, but the Dreamers series seminar is sold out. But typically what that is we would allow you to talk a little bit about your business during the seminar, but the main thing is you get a 30-minute follow-up with me. On the other side, if you do the YouTube only seminar where we're just going through the YouTube walkthrough and you decide to get the coaching package, that means that you and I, after the seminar, will then sit together over the phone in front of our phones or computers or whatever you use to use YouTube, and we will have a one-on-one session so that if you need that extra help, you can get it. So that's the difference between the top tier levels for the seminars. And then I think that's everything. We've got memberships now. We've got seminars, 2 different seminars. You can also take both. And then we've got artists. Oh, also testimonials and reviews. If any of you believe that I have helped you and you're interested in being on my website's testimonials or reviews, again, thefierygrace@gmail.com. Send me an email and let me know how I've helped you. And if I like what you're talking about and I think that other people would really resonate with it, I'm going to put it on my website. I'm going to add a testimonials page. Again, there's a 25% off sale right now. There are exclusives for $15 or less. You can get 3 of them for $33. I mean, it's a really good opportunity to get bonus messages for a good price, to support the channel, to support the cause. And it's especially good for those of you who just know that something in these messages, it's like there's a calling. That's what the real reason for the bonus exclusives are. They're not really for everybody. They're for people who feel like, I'm being called to get this message, but I don't know where it's coming from, and they're led there. It happens every time. So I think that's everything. Yes, I believe that's everything I wanted to tell you today. I love you. I love you. I love you. That's the most important part. Many, many blessings to you. Thank you for being here with me for 2 hours. We got up to 500 viewers tonight. Just amazing. And Brenda, you have been off the chain. Brenda, I'm going to do a free reading for you, honey. You have really been going crazy. I know my subscribers know, my donors, my donors, my mods, my members know that I do all kinds of like special little videos here and there. But Brenda, I just want to reward you. You've been one of my longest running mods here. And you really went in today, and I appreciate you so much. I'm going to do a free reading for you. If you're interested in being a moderator, you don't have to ask. Just be a good person in the chats. That's how I find my mods. I look for people who are automatically just in that space of leadership and kindness and helping people grow and really being empathetic to people. And that's, my mods are fantastic. Elaine, Brenda, Ivory, y'all, I got a few more, but you guys are my mains that are always here. So thank you so much. I love you. I'm out of here. Peace. Yes, baby. What you want? You want to go outside? You want to go outside? Tell me. Say yes. You want to go outside? Say yes. No, you're not going to talk? Please? You're so rude. You want to go outside? You want to go outside? Say yes. Ah! See, he doesn't want to do it because you guys are listening. I thought you guys would hear him talk, but he knows. You're so smart. He's the smartest dog in the world. All right, bye. I'm out.